I enjoy welcoming back our readers and listeners. As a refresher, this blog and the related website and YouTube channel were developed as a sort of self-serve, self-help forum. We can all use helpful and inspirational guidance as we navigate life's difficult and confusing challenges. Here's the place to learn what others may have learned the hard way by hearing their stories and listening to their advice. As our website name mybetterment.net implies, the goal is personal betterment for you, for me, for all of our comrades. I'm not going to knock the countless social media sites dedicated to Bigfoot, camping gadgets, and how to set the clock on your new Subaru. They all serve a purpose, but without personal growth, all these things will have a limited impact on your happiness and fulfillment. So, we hope you'll join us on this ride by following and maybe even contributing to the resources we share for everyone. And speaking of contributing, the following perspective was submitted by Janine. Thanks, Janine, for taking the time to write. What's up, E.T.? Like most people, I've struggled to find my way through life. I grew up in a decent family, and I did okay in school. I've had several jobs over the years, none that made me rich, but they did provide a variety of experiences and allowed me to meet a lot of great people. In many ways, I'd say my life has been average, with happy times and rough times. I would say I'm in a happier place now that I'm past middle age than I was when I was younger. It's not because life is smoother, it's more because I look at things differently. I've gone through so much that now when something difficult or challenging comes up, I just sigh and think, here we go again, we'll get through this, instead of letting things eat me up. I can't speak for others, but for me, the best thing about growing older is that I don't worry about the things that used to drive me crazy. I used to worry way too much about what people thought. Now, if somebody doesn't like me, I really don't care. I know who I am. And if I lose a job or a friend, it might be a difficult patch to get through, but life will go on and new doors will open. I'm actually at a point where I can often roll my eyes and chuckle a little bit inside when something unpleasant happens. It just seems senseless to dwell on sad and stressful things when you can focus on the future and know that the struggle you're dealing with now will eventually just be another unpleasant memory, like the other struggles you've overcome. I don't think anyone can just throw a switch and have this more positive mindset. I think it comes with age. It's the ability to put things in perspective because you've had lots of experiences and you know they'll pass. The reason I wanted to share my thoughts on this is because it might be encouraging for younger people to know life might get easier as you get older. Understanding that might even speed up the process and get you to that mindset a little faster. Something that helped me handle difficult situations was learning about the Chinese concept of yin yang. I don't know if I'd call it a philosophy, but it's certainly a helpful way to look at the world. I would describe yin yang by saying it's an understanding that good and evil, right and wrong, happiness and unhappiness are all opposites which depend upon each other. For example, there could be no good without the contrasting evil, and right could not exist without wrong to compare it to. And happiness just means you're not unhappy. The takeaway regarding yin yang is that opposing forces are dependent upon each other. There is no way to have happiness without unhappiness to compare it to, because everything is relative. So I've accepted the fact that unpleasant, hurtful difficulties are an unavoidable part of life. This is an important realization because the thing that makes difficult situations unbearable is the belief that you could have or should have avoided them. Yin Yang says you can't avoid these opposite forces. This is how life works, so accept this fact and move on. The following quote from the book The Prophet says basically the same thing. When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, Look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. The Prophet is a wonderful book, full of wisdom and written in a poetic fashion. I highly recommend it. As I said earlier, some aspects of my life have gotten easier, not because I have fewer problems, but because I look at my problems differently and have learned to accept them and move forward. One last thing I wanted to say. I recently read a post submitted by one of your other followers about taking valuable ideas from different religions and philosophies instead of just being stuck on the one you were raised with. This yin yang concept has been a perfect example of that for me. To use the jewel analogy shared in that post, the yin yang concept is one of those jewels I've collected on my path through life. Thanks, E.T. Please keep this going. Thanks to you, Janine. I'm glad another follower's post resonated with you and maybe inspired you to send your own thoughts. As always, we invite readers and viewers to share their wisdom so we can pay it forward. I hope to connect with you all again here or maybe at mybetterment.net. Take care and love you, shmov ya.